Hello, 5th graders. Welcome to your word work lesson today, Tuesday, the 9th of February. Yesterday we learned smell a rat, the sense that something is not right when you suspect wrongdoing or deception, or to realize that something is not as it is supposed to be. It is very close to the idiom when something is fishy, because you suspect wrongdoing, and they both have the sense of a strong smell. Today, our idiom is ring a bell, ring a bell. Literally, here is a person ringing a bell. It does not mean to literally ring a bell. However, when we ring a bell, the sound that it emits makes us it alerts us to something. When the bell rings at school, we know that signals something. So similarly, if someone says, hey, that rings a bell, that means that it reminds them of something. So we use this idiom when something sounds familiar. Sometimes it makes someone remember something, like it triggers something in them and they say, oh yeah, that does ring a bell. I think I remember that now. Or to recall something previously experienced. So to recall something experienced previously. To recall means to remember. So if you remember something that happened previously, you might say, oh yeah, that rings a bell. So in the Watsons Go to Birmingham on page 94, Mrs. Watson asks Mr. Watson if he remembers something from high school days. Then she asks, ring any bells? So she asks him if he remembers what the boys said to the girls back in high school. She says the quote, and she says, does it ring a bell? He kind of remembers, not really. So yesterday, as we learned the algorithm, subtracting of fractions algorithm, perhaps it rung a bell for you because it's very similar to adding fractions by algorithm. We have to find common denominators, but then we subtract instead. So so many of the things that we do are connected to things that we've learned before. And so we can say that when we see it again, we say, oh yeah, that rings a bell. I remember that. We are learning the suffix iv, which means having the nature of. We learned protective, used or intended for protection, wanting to protect someone from harm or danger. So something is protective, it has the nature of protection. Inquisitive. Joey is inquisitive and asks Byron why he did what he did to his hair. She asked who helped him do it. Even though they really know. They don't even have to ask, they already know. But what does inquisitive mean? It means asking too many questions and trying to find out too many details about something or someone. Interested in a lot of different things and wanting to find out more about them. So sometimes the word inquisitive can have a negative connotation or a positive connotation. So the first definition is what Joey is. She's inquisitive, but maybe not totally in a positive way. Well, at least for Byron, it's not positive. He doesn't want to talk about it. His face is in his hands. He doesn't want to answer the questions, but she keeps asking and wanting to know things, even though she knows he doesn't have a good answer. He doesn't know why he does what he does. So, she's inquisitive anyway, but sometimes when someone's inquisitive, it's annoying or it's considered to be nosy. But on the other hand, you could be inquisitive in a positive way, meaning you're curious about something. That's a synonym. So if you're interested in a lot of different things and you want to find out more information about them, so you Google, you do research, you read lots of books about a particular topic. Perhaps you're interested in space and you're an inquisitive child. You ask lots of questions. You watch YouTube videos to learn more. You buy a telescope. This means that you're an inquisitive person. So if you're curious about something because you want to learn more about it, sort of in an academic way, or just, because you're just wondering stuff, you can also be considered inquisitive. We are learning the Greek root auto, which means self. Yesterday we learned automatic, automatically. This is when something that is automatic is designed to work without needing someone to operate it. So it works on its own because it means self. So if something works on its own, it is automatic. Or if something happens automatically, it happens on its own. Automobile, automobile is a car, right? So let's put these parts together. Mobile means moving. So if something is mobile, it's moving. Auto means self, so it's a self-moving machine, which is a car, an automobile. It moves on its own. Like you don't have to, like in Fred Flintstone days, use your feet to make the car travel, right? It has an engine and wheels and such. This is a similar car to the brown bomber, the Watson's car. This is a Plymouth car, 1948. So here's a sentence. The Watson's automobile is a Plymouth that is dull brown and really big. They called it the brown bomber. So I thought I'd show you what their car looks like, in a similar one at least. But we're learning the word automobile. So, you know, what kind of automobile do people have now? Well, automobiles from let's say a Japanese one, there are Korean ones, American versions of automobiles. There are all kinds. There's all kinds of sizes. People are working on a driverless automobile so that it can just drive on its own. That seems a little bit weird, but interesting as well. So we're learning the Greek root auto, which means self, suffix is, having the nature of, and today's idiom is ring a bell. Great job, 5th graders.